This computer. Hey, everybody. We're here with Javier Mendez, and it's been a little bit. You've been working out today, Coach? Staying fit?
Yeah, I started back today. I actually was last week. I wasn't doing much of anything because I hurt my my tendons, and I've been using this little baby right here. What is that right there?
CBDMT?
Yeah, been using it a lot for a whole week and take away the pain and stuff, inflammation, and now I'm back to starting again, but I have to go very light, like very light, and yeah, so I'm starting to back work out again. I gained a lot of weight. This quarantine is a mother, but it is what it is.
You got to kind of ease your way back in there, I think. Once you train like a bull, whether you're a fighter or into weightlifting or whatever, and you're a guy that does really high level performance, you kind of, your old mind doesn't change and your body, you know, is going to, like, you're going to just blow it out if you're not careful. I think that happens with any of us, right? You know?
Yeah, but I'm smart enough to know not to push it. If you coach for a living, and you kind of know, take your own advice, and I kind of do. So I don't push myself. I know when to chill out. The ego says go, but I know when to chill out.
Mostly cardio, right? I mean, cardio.
No, lifting weights and cardio. That's all I ever do. I tried kickboxing last week. A little bit of kickboxing. That was horrible. You haven't done it in 20-something years. Trying to kick again, it's like, oh my god, how can you coach something you can't even do yourself? It's crack up.
Well, it's interesting. Like, I've told you my dad was a coach. He was really good at coaching guys that were like 6'5" at slam dunk in the basketball, but he was only 5'9". So I guess it's possible from that perspective, right?
You don't have to show technique. You just have to understand technique and know how to teach it properly. You don't have to be the technician yourself to get a good example. Sure, it helps if you can actually do the damn thing, but it's been so long for me that I really can't do anything anymore. Not the way I'd like it to be, So yeah, it sucks.
It's kind of a give and take. I mean, like, all my friends, I had it when I was a young man. I wanted to be super special forces guy in the military. And today, all of them have so many injuries and so much back pain and so much stuff. I'm like, thank goodness. Thank goodness. I'm sitting here with a good back and flexibility, and I'm not sitting here eating a bunch of pain pills to get it through the day. But I guess CBDMD would be a good alternative for sure. Seems to help a lot of people.
It is, man. It's not a miracle drug by any means, but it's definitely the best thing out in the market, man. The CBD is the best thing on the market for so many things that ail people. The inflammation. I think it's number one, man. Because if you look at everything that is related to inflammation, our whole body is related to that. So having something that can calm it down a little bit, promotes healing, and most importantly, the pain, man. Some people can't deal with the pain, so they have to take, hard medicine, which is not good for the body in the long run,
The hard medicine. I mean, I have friends that have had parts of their backs removed, and they have springs in there. It's like like a shock absorber or something. And they're on these drugs that are so heavy. I'm like, the CBD would be a better alternative because all the opiates, they kill your liver. And your liver is one of the first things to kill you, just as bad as worrying about a heart attack. And you don't want, the CBD doesn't go to your liver. So that's
no, it's a wonderful product, that the whole world's going to be onto it. Right now, not the whole world. The Muslim world does not approve of it, and so, but it'll be a little while. Eventually, it will be approved worldwide for that purpose only, healing, not for getting high. I see that point too. Just for healing, just for the healing purposes. And with stuff that I'm on, CBDMD stuff, you can't get high on this stuff no matter what you do. You're not going to get nothing. It's just you're wasted something. There's no drug, doesn't give you any high, doesn't make you feel different. Nothing. Yeah. It helps the pain go away.
That's pretty wild. So what is it? What's been some of the ups? Has there been any upside to this whole thing happening? I know that your whole life was put on hold. Have you found any sunshine through the trees in this whole situation? Any reflection going through being in this Corona thing? For me, I feel like I'm just floating. I mean, I don't feel like much is different, maybe finding some old footage of the gym and,
I don't know. I'm just looking at what we got coming ahead of us, man. We're not even We're not even there yet, and I think there's more problems to come. You know, I think as far as the
Sunny.
pandemic, I think that we might have hit the height. You know, because I've been looking at the world meter, and it looks like we're kind of getting a little bit of control of it. But I don't think the other countries like Ecuador, Colombia, Mexico, you know, Brazil, and all those other countries are going to be adequately prepared when it hits them like it hit us. I mean, you know, as at the present time, the USA is #1 in the most, you know, coronavirus cases. I think we're at 700 something thousand, so maybe 732,000. So we're far away ahead of anybody, and I'm not so sure that we are going to be the leaders in the long run. You know, that's yet to be seen. But it looks like we're getting a handle on it a little bit. But
Mhm.
we'll see. We'll see day by day.
It's interesting. I'm up here by Santa Cruz, and I'm loving it. Being around the trees and the nature, it relaxes me. Usually, I live in a more, you know, suburban bunch of people living in the same area, and it gets on your nerves. You feel everything. People's cars being too loud and makes you like, you know. So it's been a good relaxing. But they've opened the beaches here, but not for social gatherings. More for if you want to go for a walk on the beach, you can. Maybe it's limited to local residents. I don't know. But in Half Moon Bay, they're going to check your ID card. If you don't live within 5 miles of the beach, you're not allowed in there. So there's stricter rules. And I think even mandatory face masks in San Francisco, from what I've been hearing. You know, I know in Texas that's a law now, pretty much. You
I
know.
think the face masks are very important, you know, because if you hear about how far it travels when someone sneezes, someone coughs, how far it travels, you
Hmm.
know, how long it stays in the air. Yeah, I think you know, as much as I hate wearing those things, I think they should be made mandatory. That way we all wear them, and we save ourselves more time, you know, and gloves too. You know, I really do. I think if we made it mandatory, I think we'd all be better off for it, you know, especially the mask, because when you're sneezing, that thing will travel, I was told, up to 27 feet, you know, in the air. And it lasts 3 to 4 5 minutes or longer, or hours in the air, I heard. Something like that. I could be wrong about the air thing, but I'm not wrong about it. It can travel up to 27 feet,
Is
you
it
know,
is it
outside.
is it kind of spooky going into grocery stores for you? For me, it was a little unnerving initially. Now I'm kind of like, whatever. I
No,
just
I just said whatever. I just look at it. Hey, you know what? I'm not going to get it. And if I get it, I don't want it. Definitely don't want it. I don't want it. You know, but if I get it, it's God's will. You know, and just deal with it. But I definitely do not want it. I do not want this. I've seen videos of people that have it. Now I do know quite a few people that have that lost their parents, or someone that lost his best friend. You know, 25-year-old boy who died of this, and mostly everybody's that older, but the young ones get it too, man. And the people that have cleared this, the mortality rate of the people that have cleared is like 38% of the people that are no longer, you know, infected. Either or 38% of those are dead in
Mhm.
the U.S. And then in the world is 21%. Then people mistake that. Go, oh no, less than 1%. Yeah, less than 1% got infected. But if we didn't take the precautions that we did, then that rate would be tremendous. You could see as much as, honestly speaking, maybe the whole world get infected with this shit. That's how contagious it is. You know,
That's
and that's no joke. That's no joke. And then, you know, we'll lose 40% or 21% of the population. If you think about that, if everybody got it, 21% of the population, what is that? So how many billions? You know, 1 billion, maybe two, somewhere
yeah,
up, right?
yeah.
Something
21%. It's
like
like 7 or 8 billion people on the
that. Yeah, we're
planet.
at 7 8 billion. So if you got 21% of that go away, how many billion people die?
Yeah, it's a lot.
It's a lot, man. It's a
It's
lot. So ain't nothing to joke
yeah, like
about.
1.4, 1.5 billion. I mean,
Yeah,
that's
there's nothing to joke about. So I'm just talking about it. Everybody got it, which is stupid. But it's not stupid in the sense that this thing is that contagious. You know, I mean, like I said, I've had a friend of mine, one of my fighters. You know, he told me that his cousin and everybody at their moving place got it. You know, it's those moving warehouse, not those trucking companies.
hmm
Everybody, the whole crew got it. They all got it. Every single one of them. How often do you ever see that happen? Realistically, how often?
Nah, I mean, one of my classmates' fathers died from it. He was taking the chloroquine. He lasted about a week. but he had a lot of other things. Like he was older, he had heart issues, he had probably pre-diabetic. So yeah, the some of those people would have been a statistic either way. Maybe this just accelerated that. Maybe it did it a year or two early for them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Some would have, some wouldn't. Another friend of mine, his father died. He was 70 years old. He was in great shape, worked out all the time, and they told him he was clear. They told him he was going to make it. 2 days later, he died.
wow. That's just insane. I mean, we're sitting here, you and I were there when the scare came apart, and we're like, okay, better start taking precautions early. Let's watch ourselves a little bit. Okay, a little more. Okay, now we're not doing this anymore. Len, don't come down and film. Gym's closed. And I remember that, and I was like, oh wow, hopefully this is only temporary. And it's been like a month or so, I think. It's been a while, right? I'm not even.
Expect another 2 months or so. To be honest with you, I think that I think the president's doing a great job. I think he's doing what he needs to do, and I think he's going to open up little by little. Certain places are going to be able to open up a little bit more, and then the second phase will probably be, more businesses that are going to be open where they have more people involved. And I think the third business like mine, schools and whatnot, businesses like mine and gymnasiums and will be open. We'll be the last ones to be open, I think. And then of course that's concerts and whatnot.
Do you
Because we
think
got a lot of people.
there's going to be any changes how you run a gym because of this? Like checking
Hundred
people at the
percent.
door?
100%. Yeah, 100%. Everybody's gonna do that. 100%. Look, just because we're able to go back to work doesn't mean that the virus is gone. It's not gone. We don't have a there's no cure for it yet. So guess what? It's out there. It's
Yeah,
out there still. So just because we're back to work doesn't mean that we're free of it. We're not free of it. We're
yeah.
just, taking better care of ourselves. That's all. It's the only way it can happen.
I was thinking about some kind of invention. I know this sounds silly, but something that scans like those fever scanners at the door, just like,
Well, they're doing that already. They're doing the
okay.
fever scanners and the whole bit. So they'll be doing that.
Mm.
And yeah, that's gonna be on very obvious.
Yeah,
Very obvious.
a lot more spacing in classes, whatever it takes to open up. I mean, there's people that are trying to open their gyms in the middle of this. I had a friend who got to stay open in Tracy. I'm not going to blast his gym name because I don't know, but I mean, it's one of those places you check in and out with a card, and then you see someone like 24-hour fitness looking at bankruptcy, and so this is
Yeah, I gotta put
amazing.
you on hold. Gotta put you on hold.
Okay,
Stay on hold.
resume recording. Okay, we're back. And let's do some fan questions, Javier. I mean, I put these out in 10 minutes. We had some really good ones. So today, people are asking some good stuff. I mean, I like these questions better than we get than during the fights usually. So I don't know. I was like, oh, yeah, I didn't even think of these myself. Let's see what we got. We're going to take a look real quick over here on fan questions. I put this up. Okay. Well, this one is from Nassim Karim. I say one thing, you're a true inspiration, most lovable person. Lots and respect for you, sir. Well, so that was a compliment more than a question, but that was nice.
Thanks,
Um,
Liz.
okay, this is from Carlos Lori. What is coach doing to keep himself from getting cabin fever? Stay safe, everyone.
What I'm doing is I drive from my gym to my house, which is about an hour away, and I come in and I work out a little bit, and then I go back home. Otherwise, I would go stir crazy. I went stir crazy for the first 3 weeks because I was staying at home, and then I realized I can come to my gym. I'm isolated in my gym by myself, maybe one other person or two, and then I go home. And so I've actually been working out really well doing that. The only problem is I hurt my elbow, not my elbow, my tendons, and which left me to stop. So I tried kickboxing a little bit, and that hurt a little bit. So I'll try it again this week. But yeah, I keep myself occupied by trying to make a comeback.
That's good stuff, Bob.
Yeah, that's a joke.
Let's see what we got here on okay. Somebody's going, what's up with Derron Winn? Was he down after his loss? I hope he's doing good now.
Yeah, I think Derron was pretty. He got down on himself pretty heavy. DC's like his big brother, and DC will pick him up. DC will always pick him up. DC will take him wherever he needs to take him and do whatever he needs to do for him to bring him back up. So 100% counting Derron to be back because he's got big brother DC looking after him.
Yeah, he'll be back for sure. Okay, and we go over here. And that question was from Good Day. Okay, this is from Sajwal Khan. Hello, I'd like to know if I could train at AKA in the summer times. I live in Dublin, like to become a member of AKA and come train for the summer. How can I apply? I know we've asked this before, but it never hurts to answer it again. So,
If you're a professional fighter and you want to join the team, we have to figure out, you know, we basically, if you fight for an organization, like a big organization, like say Bellator, UFC, you know, some of the big organizations out there, we have to figure out who in the gym now that's training that's in your weight category could potentially be fighting there. And if they have a problem with you, then we wouldn't let you in. If there's no problem, then we let you in. So normally that we do it through a team vote, you know, and but no, mostly it's just being a professional is all you need. Then you come and try out for the team, and if the team accepts you, then you're good to go.
and for the non-professionals, you offer a variety of classes usually when the gym's up and running, right? You have
Well, for
jujitsu.
the non-professionals, yeah, the gym's open to the public, so anybody can come in anytime when they're open. Yeah.
Have you had people come take like a training vacation that weren't pros to come get some time at AKA? I mean, it is close to the beach. It's close to San
Oh,
Jose.
all the time, all the time. Yeah, that happens all the time.
That's a
That's
good
very common, very common.
Okay, so that was a good question that we had there. And let's see, how do you think Habib would do if he moved up a weight class from John Morstan?
Habib would do fantastic. It's just a matter of will he ever do it or does he want to do it? But he will do fantastic.
Yeah. What weight class do you think the highest? 170 probably.
I believe he can compete at 185. You know, because he's so freaking good that he can compete at 185.
And he's stronger than people realize too. That strength probably
But
goes
you
with
know,
it.
he's stronger, but he's just so damn good. People just don't give him the credit how good this man is. He's really good, man.
Now we see him roll around with bigger guys, and it doesn't seem to be an issue. So that's for sure. That's a good question. I was curious about that one myself. And let's see. Hey, coach, what do you do in the locker room before a fight if your fighter shows signs that they're nervous? How do you motivate them? I'm assuming it's different for each fighter. Thanks, big fan from London. I hope to come across the pond one day and train at AKA. And that's from Swift Talk.
Correct. They do get nervous. And basically, the best way to do them is you try to get them to get relaxed and confident. Relaxation is a key, and getting to go in there confident is a key. So having a game plan and instilling in them there that they did all the hard work and they're prepared to win, and they need to go out there and win, and they're going to win. You know, and you get them to relax in the meantime. Those are very important aspects to get into your fighter before they fight. And yeah, you do run across quite a bit of that. So that there's pep talks in the back that have to be done and said in order for your fighter to be motivated and be ready for battle.
That was a good one there, Hav. Let's see. This one is best moment in your coaching career from the Fear Fire.
Best moment,
Mm-hmm.
I guess because it was such the first big rush for us when Kane beat Brock Lesnar. That was a huge moment, I guess, because of all the energy in the crowd. Not that beating Brock was a huge deal, in as far as his abilities and everything. Not himself as a man; he's a giant of a man, but his abilities were not that great of an MMA fighter. As a wrestler, they were good, but not great either. But as a mountain of a man, God damn it, man! You're out there. You look at this guy. You go, "Holy shit!" You know. So yeah, Brock Lesnar. The whole everything, the energy, the look of him, everything was like. You look at him and you go, "You can't beat that guy. He's too big." You know, but that's not the way it went, and that's not the way it would go again. You know, or even like Daniel Cormier would be another slam dunk to smash Brock for the same reason. Much better wrestling, much better fighter.
Yeah, that that's a real like Kane's a big, strong guy, imposing figure, but once you have that mountain of a man, I mean, it does make you question yourself. You're like,
Yeah, I did. I was like, how are we going to beat this guy? And then I blacked out of it. I go, no, wait a minute. We're beating this guy. But it's, man, you look at that guy and you just go, you're just in awe because he's so impressive. So impressive.
We did the summertime one. This is from John Morston. Another good question. When was the first time that you met Khabib?
I met Khabib 2012 here at the gym. King Mo Lawal was the one that asked if he can come here. They contacted him because King Mo is a Muslim himself, and they knew he was a wrestler, and they knew that Daniel Cormier and Josh Koscheck and John Fitch. We had a whole bunch of wrestlers here, and Khabib's more of a wrestler-style fighter, so he wanted to come here, see if it was okay to come, and I said, sure, no problem.
It's interesting. I mean, you had the top grapplers, and we always talk about the play on words, American kickboxing. You're a kickboxer, and all of a sudden you pick the best wrestlers forever to be at your gym. But I'm sure Khabib benefited from the stand-up too. I mean, you probably get more of that with you than he was getting in other places because that's your specialty, right?
Well, no, all the stand-up Khabib has is practically all what I've shown him, but he doesn't get to train with me like people think. If he trained with me year-round, like 24/7, yeah, he'd be unbelievable. And the reason why we've been lucky is Dwayne Zinkin and Bob Cook, Crazy Bob Cook, Zinkin Entertainment. They recruit top-level wrestlers, so it isn't luck. It's Dwayne Zinkin. They go out and recruit these top-level guys that come down here. Cain Velasquez, DC, Josh Koscheck, John Fitch, so on, Ed Ruth, Romero Cotton, Kyle Crutchmere. These are all top-level wrestlers that have been recruited by Zinkin. So it's not a fluke or an accident. This was by design with Zinkin management that asked all these top-level guys to come on board, and we got a place for you. So they come AKA. They go to other places too, but AKA is one of their biggest fronts for Zinkin-based fighters.
Well, some of the fighters, they might go practice with a college team once in a while just to get another look, but it's not really MMA grappling. It's just wrestling, strengthen that.
No, they go to other places, other gyms, like Phil Davis. Phil Davis is Zinkin managed, and he goes somewhere else. Ben Askren, same thing. He doesn't train here, train somewhere else. But it's no accident that we're wrestler based. It's based on what Zinkin has done, brought in top level wrestlers here.
Well, it's also like, what was the comment the other day? They're like, somebody was talking about Khabib not having having faced folk style wrestling. I'm like, you have every flavor in the ice cream store of wrestling, including his own Dagestani wrestling and jiu-jitsu at your gym, like every single type, right? Pretty much.
Well, if you've been and Dagestan, he has access to the best wrestlers in the world. So go whatever you want to talk about collegiate. Why don't you talk about Olympic? He deals with Olympic level caliber wrestlers all the time. Look at Dagestan's history. Look at all the gold medalists they have, and then go talk to me again. And don't go talk to me about college wrestling when this man wrestles with Olympic gold medalists at home, and they have plenty of them. And you look at the history of Dagestan and what they bring to the table. You don't know what you're talking about when you're talking about all the American wrestlers. Yeah, they're awesome, but so are Olympic gold medalists, and he has plenty of them over there. Judo Olympic gold medalists also. So Khabib has everything he needs over there as far as wrestling, in any kind of wrestling.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, the man's never short on supply for that. This is John Morston. Thanks for all the questions, buddy. I think I know the answer, but will Khabib versus Tony be Khabib's last fight? You can answer. I don't think so.
I seriously doubt it will be the last fight, but we'll see what happens. That fight's been so jinxed, that I don't even. To be honest with you, I know we'll fight him again, and because they're gonna both want to fight because they need to fight. But I'm just hoping that nothing happens, man. This is ridiculous. I've never in my life been involved in something that's been so destined to fail. And so I prefer it not to happen only because of that reason and that reason only. But I'm sure that once Tony fights Gaethje and he gets by Gaethje, which is not going to be an easy feat, he could lose to Gaethje, But I think Tony will probably overcome that, and him and Khabib will lock horns again in September, and hopefully, Abu Dhabi, and hopefully nothing goes wrong with either one of them, and then we finally get to see the greatest lightweight match in the history of UFC.
What does it mean? I mean, I know this is me throwing in a question on the side here, but what does it mean if Gaethje beats Tony? What does that change in the perspective of this whole thing?
Well, it just changes the fact that Khabib and Tony may never fight, and then he fights Gaethje. So, to me, it's like, hey, I know the game. You know, sometimes you got this beautiful apple and you want to pair it up with another apple, and next thing you know, that apple falls off the tree.
Yeah.
It happens.
Here's a good one from Noggin Fodder. Who are some of the most exciting young prospects out of AKA? So maybe I guess we go for people that aren't so known. I mean, what do you think?
Well, Kyle Crutchmere, he's exciting. Romero Cotton, you know, he's another one. Little Mark Climaco, he's exciting. I got another one, Daniel Allen. He's one up and coming guy, you know, I got a few more that up and coming. The other ones are already known, but those four are not known. Kyle Crutchmere might be a little bit known now, but not as known as he's gonna be. And then there's a dark horse coming, Kyle Driscoll. He's like a dark horse. So everybody else is already known, like Derron Wins and all those guys. They're known already, but you know, Ed Ruth, they're all known. But a bunch of other guys, they're not known.
Well, Salim's pretty known in his own circle.
Salim's known. He's already in Bellator and stuff. So it's not like I'm saying he's already fought twice in Bellator. So I'm not mentioning him for that reason. He's already on the cusp and stuff. But it's the other guys that you don't really know much about, like Romero and Kyle's fought too, but I don't think they're as known. I think Salim's known more than they are.
And he's got the whole country following him.
Yeah.
I don't know. I look at people like the twins. I'm like, I don't know. They just look like there's something, but they're so far away, you know?
Well, they're just barely turned 21. They got a ways to go.
So that's young prospects. That's infant prospects, I guess. Let's see. What will Khabib do after he retires?
You know, I would think he's going to use his fame to help people, help the you know, the needy, you know, and do something good with what he has. I believe so, because he shows such a beautiful heart and kindness for people that I believe he's going to go and help people and do things that are good for the people and his family.
I can see that too. He is a person that looks out for everybody else that's beyond him. He's a pretty amazing, humble guy. Yeah, that makes sense, Hav. How did you start coaching at AKA? This John Morstan has been like the king of questions, but they're all good.
Basically, I started AKA in 1986 at a glass shop, and I was teaching kickboxing there at a friend's, Jim Marmetta. I was the owner of Capital Glass on Pearl Avenue in San Jose. I was teaching there, privates to a few people that wanted to learn, and it grew from there. From there, I went to Scott Coker, who is the president of Bellator, was my teacher at that particular time, and he had a gym that he let me use on occasion on a Friday nights. He used to let me come and bring my guys in there to do some sparring. As time went on, Coker wanted to know if I wanted to take over his gym because he moved 2 doors down, and so I said sure. So I took it over, and at that particular time, a friend of mine named Kim Rhodes, who worked for Bottomley, with Budweiser, which is Bottomley Distribution, he said that I should name it American Kickboxing Academy. And I was like, dude, I'm Mexican. Now I'm going to call American Kickboxing Academy. Kim Rhodes goes, well, where are you born? I said, well, I was born in Mexico. He goes, well, we're still North America, right? I go, yeah. He goes, well, it's still American. I go, yeah. So there you go. So that's how we called it American Kickboxing Academy back in 91. I started in 87. And, well, actually, I didn't get in the books till 91. It was in 87 that 86, 87, that I actually called it American Kickboxing Academy through Kim Rhodes.
When did you feel like the coach like you are now? I mean, when did that come like, oh, shoot, I am coaching? I'm sure it was gradual, but like, when did you was it 91? Like, I'm a coach. This is my profession. Like, when did it kick in for you?
It didn't really sink into me until Josh Thompson got me to try to teach him, and I wouldn't teach nobody. I was very specific. When I was training people, I didn't train many people. I was just like Frank Shamrock. That was it. I only trained Frank. I wouldn't train anybody else. Brian Johnston, he was my first UFC fighter. I didn't train anybody but him. And it was through Brian Johnston that I met Frank Shamrock in the first place. But anyways, I'm skipping a lot. But long story short, I wasn't training many people and only few people. And I got to the point where BJ Penn came to me, and I started training BJ Penn one-on-one, but nobody else was getting my attention, just BJ. And people, you know, were not happy with it because, you know, they wanted my attention too, but I didn't care. I was focused on just my thing and running my gym and let the guys do what they could do. Because originally the MMA team was not my team. It was Crazy Bob and Frank Shamrock. It was actually Frank Shamrock's team, Frank Shamrock Submission Academy. It was nothing to do with me. I was just helping out, and I would just train a couple people. So as time went on, you know, we changed the name to AKA, but originally it started with Crazy Bob Cook and Frank Shamrock. So Frank Shamrock was the first person that actually started an MMA team at my gym. So it was Frank Shamrock submission fighting that was the real way we started. It became AKA later, but it started as Frank Shamrock Submission Academy. And Crazy Bob Cook was Frank's guy that was running everything. I didn't come into later, and I only did it because of Josh Thompson. He kept pleading for me to help all the guys, and I wouldn't do it. And finally, Josh Thompson, his girlfriend at that particular time, became a nanny for our kids. And because she was helping me out, I figured, well, shit, I'll help you. So I helped him, and then from there, I helped the team. And there's pretty much from there, one thing led to another.
It was never the total plan. It's one of the.
No, it was never the plan. I didn't want to be a coach. I just, you know, and then it wasn't until, you know, that's all I was doing. That now I wouldn't trade it for anything.
It is amazing. It's like some people start off, that's their goal, but for you, it became, and you're like, wow, I'm enjoying this just as much.
Yeah, I didn't want to be a coach. I was going to go back to real estate.
Yeah, maybe coaching some realtors. Let's see. This is from Nibaku Luvuno. Have you ever considered bringing Sambo techniques into your sessions because of how effective it is in MMA?
Sambo is always going to be effective in MMA, and it's always going to be available here because Khabib brings it here. So yeah, no, anything that works, man. There's nothing out there that's going to be thrown out the door. If it works, it works. Stupid to ignore something that works.
Yeah. I mean, you're like, okay, that works. I mean, I watch Sambo and I go, okay, that looks like a very effective art. How do you think it stacks up against jiu-jitsu, like 1-for-1?
Well, let me go back a little bit to how my mentality is. When I first opened up the glass shop gym at Capital Glass Shop, I used to tell those guys, look, hey, listen, you guys, all I know is I know how to box and I know Taekwondo. So that's all I can teach you guys. There's more to this than that, but that's all I know. So right now I can teach you guys boxing and Taekwondo. Later we learn something new, then maybe I'll teach you, you know, like knife fighting or you know, Muay Thai or something. But I don't know any Muay Thai. I don't know anything like that. So right now it's one of those deals where I teach you what I learned, and something else comes around that we learned, we pick it up. We just add it, you know. So that was the mentality went back then in '86, and until then, look what we have now. We have everything now. Everything, you know, with wrestling, you know, jiu-jitsu, you know, MMA, you know, as classes, you know, and boxing, you know, we do everything.
Well, how long, I mean, the fusion of MMA, it's like, is it taking the grappling class, the stand-up class, and then taking a class in the middle? How does one become fluent in these like different arts? You know, I mean,
well, the only way to become fluent in the arts is you practice one and you add them together. That's the only way.
Yeah.
Impossible to do it any other way.
You can't do it a la carte. Okay.
You can do it a la carte. You got to a la carte. You grab them, but you put them all together and you eat them all together.
Yeah, it's just one big mixed salad. Let's see. This is from Raymond Venice. What was your biggest takeaway from your visit to Dagestan? Which aspects of Dagestan culture would you love to see in America? Thanks, Coach and Len.
The family, how they take care of their elderly. The elderly is number one. The most respected over there is the elderly. I mean, they're so respectful of their elders. If you disrespect an elder, you're getting an ass beating. They don't take that. Try that over here, you know. Disrespect an elder, it's no big deal. Over there, it's a big deal. I love the way they respect their elders. I love the discipline that they have for that. And they made everybody, if you were a family guest or you're or you're a friend, the way they treat you, it's real. Those guys are real, you know, and that's what we don't have here that they have over there. That's what I miss.
The consistency, you don't have to second guess it. It is what it is, right?
Yeah.
There's no like dual meaning to it all.
No, it's kind of like you're not forced into being open with people, but it's their culture. It's like you go and shake hands, You know, you go and greet everybody. You know, you do all that. It's an amazing culture, man.
Yeah, I've picked up a little bit what they bring here, and I'm like just impressed. You know, I mean, I see it. I see how the guys are. They're so humble, and they're like, these are young gentlemen. You know, I
Yeah.
mean, like one of the young fighters said to me one day, he wasn't from Dagestan, but he's Chechnya. He's like, people should stand up when coach walks in the room and show him respect. He's teaching us the best thing to change our lives. And I go, you get it. Not everybody sees that, but he got it. He was
That's the way they are over there. When Habib's father walks in, everybody's up, man.
right.
He cracks the whip, man. He cracks the whip too. He don't play around. He don't play. He just he cracks the whip. And boom, everyone's like, whoa. You know, so no, it's the discipline, and I mean, his father's a great man and a great coach.
You can't go wrong learning to be disciplined. You can't go wrong from that. There's nothing to lose. Why are you
Absolutely,
fighting it? You
could
know,
not go wrong.
right?
Yeah.
So what we got here? Defer Fire. It's got a great one. What was your favorite Khabib win?
My favorite Khabib win. Man, let's go with Conor because it was such a huge event. The win with Conor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What would second be, like the last one? Poirier, you think?
No, Alaquinta.
Alaquinta?
Yeah.
Because that was such a. Were you there when all that was going? They kept changing opponents on him that week.
Yeah, I was there because of all that and everything that went through. That was a hell of a roller coaster ride.
I felt, and this is just me speaking out of turn, but I felt like the stress, if I put myself in a fighter's shoes, my cortisol levels would have went up and down. And I'm thinking, oh, I'm going to tackle this puzzle. No, we want you to solve the Rubik's Cube. No, we want you to build a car. No, it's like they kept changing what it would be, who we would face. Oh, I got to go stand up. Oh, shoot. Now I got to think grappling. Oh, I got to stand up and grappling. Like that must have been stressful. Even though
No, not as stressful as you would think. He said, "Coach, it doesn't matter. I'll fight anyone. Doesn't matter. Whatever. Just give me an opponent." He wasn't that stressed about it. I thought he would be all riled up when Conor attacked the bus. Nope. I said, "Deal, guy, let me outside."
Yeah.
Then I go, "Well, good." He goes, "Coach, we do that all the time in Dagestan. That's normal for us." I go, "Well, not here."
That's funny. That's a good comment. Let's see. Havana Club, do you think there'll be a Khabib Mayweather anytime soon?
I don't know. I know both sides would welcome it if it happens. Yes, both sides would want it. Habib wants to challenge himself in that arena, and I know Mayweather has been knocking on the door too. So both sides are a pro that fight if it did ever occur.
Let's say, which one of the fighters at AKA have you known the longest? This is from John Morston, the amazing question asker.
Fighters?
Mm-hmm.
Fighters turn coaches?
I don't know. I mean, it could be both. Whoever was first, I guess.
Crazy Bob Cook.
Yeah.
Crazy Bob Cook, when he was here, he was a fighter. Actually, when he came, he used to drive 3.5 hours here, 3.5 hours back home to train with Frank Shamrock. I remember when I signed him up, I said, "Where are you from?" He said, "Norfolk." I go, "Oh, I won't see you here long, so whatever. I'll see you here, then I won't see you." And next thing you know, he's gone. We move, and he's never gone. And I forgot all about him. And when he started fighting, he goes, "Don't you remember me?" I said, "No." He goes, "I'm the guy you said I wasn't going to come around. You said that I'd be quit." That's crazy, Bob. The next one will be Josh Thompson.
Wow. Yeah, Josh is doing good. Got his podcast, Big John. They're kicking butt, keeping people
Yeah,
entertained.
Mike Swick too. You see Mike Swick? Mike Swick's got Chuck Liddell. Mike Swick's got all the celebrities on there and everything. They're doing fantastic. I'm happy for those guys.
They're good dudes, man.
They're awesome.
I knew Josh before I knew you, I think. Let's see.
He's getting really good, Josh is. The other guy, people don't they want to see some really good guy do a podcast. Mike Swick, Quick Swick. Or how's it? Was it Mike Swick podcast 5? What the hell is? What's the
That
name?
is what it is.
Come on, what's his name?
real quick with Mike Swick.
Real quick with Mike Swick. It's awesome.
Yeah,
Mike Swick has the greatest questions.
He's a very smart guy. It's just I don't know. He's in Thailand. He's got so much going on, so he does some great
Not
stuff.
right now. He's doing podcasts.
Oh, he's fired up again. Okay.
He just had Rampage. He had Rampage. He had what do we call it? Forrest Griffin, Rampage, Forrest Griffin, and Chuck Liddell.
That's pretty good, man. Good lineup,
man. Come on.
Let's see.
We got me and you.
Me and you, we're the best.
Yeah, me and you.
I'm kidding. Adi Hussein, Javier, I wanted to ask if Khabib would prefer fighting in Abu Dhabi or San Francisco.
I don't know, because if he's going to make training camp here, then I would say San Francisco. Mm-hmm. But if hopefully maybe this time around he wants to train at home and I go over there, then Abu Dhabi.
Yeah.
But I think the UFC wants it in Abu Dhabi because I think that they have a deal with the organization and the UA that they have to have Khabib over there, or they need to bring fights over there. So one has to happen in September per contract, and I think Khabib is wanting to go there, and I think they want him to go there. So let's hope it's Abu Dhabi, because that's the case, and I get to coach with his father, which is what I want anyway. So I'm hoping it's Abu Dhabi.
Yeah, the facilities are amazing that you guys had access to last time. So
well, it's not so much the facilities; it's just I want to be there with his father.
That's good, man. What's your reaction from Adi Hussein to Tony cutting weight to cut weight the other day? Any reaction to that? What point was that?
That just makes him who he is. I mean, I wouldn't advise it. I mean, you weaken yourself, and then you got to recover, and then you come back, and you don't have that many. How much time for your next fight? But hey, he's a special kind of guy. So hey, he proved the point, and that's what he wants to do, and let him do it.
I agree. Here's one from Heath Graham. Do you think Khabib should fight on the same card with his other team members? Last time in Abu Dhabi, he was looking like he was extremely worried, and his team members and himself, it's not good if they're on the same card while fighting Tony. What do you think? Something like that.
Well, after the last fight in Abu Dhabi, he said, "Coach, I don't want to fight with my teammates no more. I was so nervous in the back." He was too, with Zubaira and Islam. He was so worried, man. I was like, "What's the matter with you?" He goes, "I'm fine. I'm fine." I go, "You don't look fine. You look a little different." And he goes, "Yeah." Then after, he goes, "I don't want to fight with them no more. So I'm not going to make sure that they don't fight." And all of a sudden, he decides, no, he wants Islam and he wants Umar fighting for them. So there you go. So whatever Khabib is going to want is what's going to happen, because he said he's very nervous and he doesn't want it to happen. Then all of a sudden changes his mind, and now it's happening again. So I would assume it's going to happen when they do fight, because they're old fights too. So I would think that Islam and Umar is going to fight in the same card with him. And who knows, maybe his other cousin, Abukar, he might fight too. So, he might have 4 of them.
Yeah, but they're all studs, man. You have a less to worry about than the average. You might have, I don't know about Billy or Bobby, but these guys are all, I don't know. But I'm not him, so that family, so that's a different.
They're all killers over there.
Oh, for sure. Let's see. What's the first thing you're going to do, from John Morrison, when quarantine ends?
Train the fighters, open up for fighters. That's it.
Yeah, you missed that. It's part of your life. It's part of your everything, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a tough one. What would you like us to post to AKA for you and your fighters? What kind of things? I don't know. Anything, anything good.
Yeah, good. It's fine.
Let's see. How did you become so close with Khabib and the firm? I presume, and that's from an NA11MOG. The firm, I guess that just means like it's a British term, like the group, all the Dagestan guys.
I don't know. I think they're close to everybody. When they come in this gym, I think they're close to everybody, not just me. I mean, everybody. And I was the coach, so they chose to train with me. So the coach is always close to the fighters. The close relationship between a coach and a fighter is usually better than most, unless it's family. So if I'm the coach, my relationship gets solid with them, versus if I'm just the coach of the team, not their coach personally, but I'm their coach personally. So I think that's how relationships solidify.
Okay, this is from Infinity. Hi, Coach Javier Mendez. They just said hi. And Fakul Nawal 96. I really want to see Khabib versus Colby because I think they're both fearless. What do you think about that fight?
That'd be a fun fight. I'd like to see that too. Yeah, yeah, we'll see what happens. But Habib has not stated anything other than 155, and I don't think Kobe is interested in dropping to 155. So
Yeah, don't see that happening anytime soon. Interesting fight though.
yeah.
And Haji speaks. How is Habib's preparation for his next fight? Tony probably again from Danish Khan.
Well, it'll be like last time, a different fight, because Tony would have fought one time already, like I thought, and we're gonna have to adjust a little. We were ready for the fifth fight with him, and I had changed things around a little bit, and I'm sure they were gonna have the same Tony, but we had to change things around a little bit. We've every single fight we'd had to fight him. It wasn't the same. It was always different, and it's probably going to be different again, unless he hasn't changed. But I'm sure he has, and we'll see. We'll see. But I'm assuming we're going to add new wrinkles.
Let's see. This is from Rulas Freets. Salam, coach. Hope you're well. I am new to MMA UFC fandom, so I speak uneducated casual. But when Khabib fought Dustin and the natural fight to happen afterwards was Khabib versus Tony, I personally am okay. It should happen February UFC 247. Then it was announced 249. And I had a bad, uneasy feeling. In your opinion, do you think the fight should have been arranged for an earlier event?
Didn't really think much of it. Just, I knew eventually that they should be matched, and they were matched, and look what happens. I think that personally speaking, I think it's hard for me to really get up for that fight as a coach because we've done it 5 times, and it fell apart 5 times. For 2 times, they're both to blame twice. They're not to blame this last one. Neither one of them are. They both want it. We want it, but I don't know if it's meant to be. So I don't know. It's going to come up again. It's bound to come up again because I see actually Tony beating Gagey. Although I would prefer the other, but I see Tony probably beating Gagey, and we're probably gonna have to match up again with him, and let's just hope everything goes right this time, and the world gets to see who the best lightweight is. Because right now we don't know. We know Khabib is because he's got the title, but Tony is a challenge. He's a challenge.
Next couple questions. John, we answered this question. What are some of the things you like better in Dagestan than America? I think you kind of addressed that. And just letting you guys give me a shout out. And then Nas I, what do you need to train at AKA? I think you went over that too. And now this one is from Mr. Kika Bonita 2. Hello, Coach Javier. If I if I watch Khabib, I see a great overall fighter. His wrestling, grappling is mind-boggling. He can punch, stand toe-to-toe with the puncher, but I think his kicking and kneeing could improve. If he would integrate this more, he would be much more versatile and therefore more dangerous. What's your take on this? Thank you for your time. I'm a big fan of the AKA podcast.
100%. He hit it on the nail. We've been working on the kicking and the kneeing. Khabib, on his off time when he's not here, he doesn't train striking very much, and he doesn't really have a coach over there. And I wish he would pick one up, but he doesn't. He's just loyal to me. So I'm the only one that really teaches him the striking, although he does do a little bit. But as a coach, he doesn't really have someone over there that teaches him. I wish he would, because he would be a much better kicker and implement the knees. He has just recently started using the knees, so you will see a different Khabib. He's very good with the knees.
And here we are. We're getting towards the end here. Yusuf, is Justin Gaethje a threat to Khabib?
I think anybody in the top 10 is a threat to Khabib. If Khabib's not ready for those guys, hell, even the top 15 is a threat to him. You got to be ready for all these guys. If you are not ready for those guys, they can take you out. Every one of those guys is a threat.
And this is Adio saying, could Khabib make featherweight?
Can Khabib make featherweight? No. I seriously doubt it. No, it's a tough weight. That's a tough cut.
This skeleton weighs too much for that one.
Yeah.
Something. And we're going to wrap it up with Dwayne Naito. Islam versus Khabib. I know this has been asked. Who wins?
Me. I get to watch him spar in the gym. I win. I win every time.
Yeah, it's the great mystery. I mean, I think a lot of people probably wonder, like, why is he the one? And because he hasn't been seen enough by the, UFC audience. I wouldn't say American because it's global now, but in Russia they know what he is, and he's what, a master of sport Islam,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, two-time national Sambo champion, master sport.
That's high level. That's
Yeah, yeah, that's high level, very high level.
there's no easy fights there. And I was talking the other day about people that either towards the end of their career they get invited to go fight in Russia, and in some ways that's worse than trying to fight in some of the big leagues because they're against just monsters of fighters coming up that are double time hungry over there. Wouldn't you
Yeah,
agree?
how many times you see guys in the U.S. go over there, get invited to go fight over there, get their butt whipped? Quite a few.
Most of the time,
Yeah,
statistically.
wonder why, right?
Yeah.
You find masters of sport usually, and they're no joke.
This has been great, Hav. I mean, thanks for answering all these questions. These people are really going to love it. That was a lot of questions that came in out of nowhere. I bet if I refresh it, and I'm not going to because
I'll refresh it. We're done.
we're done.
I'm done. Goodbye. Okay.